Toastmasters and dear guests, welcome to today's meeting. So I see that there are a few guests in the room today. Please stand up from where you are sitting and tell us about yourself in one or two sentences and how you came to know about it.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Keshava, I'm from Chetan University Toastmasters. I came to know about this club because we all belong in the same area, and I also heard that you guys are very reputed club, so I wanted to try out my luck and give a speech here. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
Good evening all, my name is Vijay, so I am an auditor, and I came to know about this Toastmasters during my articleship period, where many of the Toastmasters used to present before the faculty and all that. And I'm very glad to be here, and we'll see how.
I hope you guys have a good time and have lovely. With that, I would like to call upon our secretary, Toastmaster Ujwal, to read the minutes of meeting number 1366.
Namaste fellow Toastmasters. Here are the minutes of the meeting number 1366 held on the 4th of May 2026. The theme was me time and the word of the week, poet. The business session started at 6:23 p.m. and was chaired by the presiding officer, Toastmaster Shreya and Rahul. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The district meeting held on 3rd of May was attended by Toastmaster Aparna TR and Toastmaster Shreya and Rahul. The club will belong to District 227, Division D, Area 02, effective of 1st of July. Sergeant Arms Toastmaster Sakshi started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to Presiding Officer Toastmaster Shreya and Rahul. The Presiding Officer opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, followed by a short address by ex-Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. It was followed by an introduction to the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Latha. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Chakravarthy. Our counter Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara. EB Evaluator Toastmaster Jyothi. Grammarian Toastmaster Aparna. The following speakers delivered prepared speeches. Toastmaster Shreya in the path Dynamic Leadership, Level 1, Project 1, evaluated by Toastmaster Shreedevi. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Sumukh A. Bhupal in the path Presentation Mastery, Level 1, Project 1, evaluated by Toastmaster Deepak. Third speaker, Toastmaster Ujwal NK in the path Engaging Humor, Level 1, Project 3, evaluated by Distinguished Toastmaster M U Bhat. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Sakshi and had the following speakers. Toastmaster Jyothi, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa GS, Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara, Toastmaster Aparna, Toastmaster Darshan, Toastmaster Chakravarthy M, Toastmaster Adishwar, Toastmaster Sachin and ex-Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. The general evaluation session was conducted by Toastmaster Chetan. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Ujwal NK, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shreedevi, Best Table Topic Speaker Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara, Best Role Taker TAPG Toastmaster Aparna, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Chetan. The presiding officer closed the meeting at 8:31 p.m. followed by the national anthem. Thank you.
Are there any amendments proposed to this minutes in meeting number 1366? If not, then I accept the minutes in meeting number 1366 and declare meeting number 1367 open. For decades, the world told itself a very specific, undeniable story. 1 mile could not be run in under 4 minutes. This was thought to be biologically impossible. This wasn't just a casual rumor among athletes. There was a very famous track coach who even made an announcement or published the calculations proving that 4 minutes wasn't enough to run a mile. The media and the public took this and made it into a wild story, and they themselves believed it and made everyone else believe that this was something that just was not biologically possible. An athlete's body would collapse under the strain of trying to do such a huge feat of a task, right? Because everyone believed it, this 4-minute mark became something that was unachievable. Here is where Roger Bannister comes in. Roger Bannister was a full-time medical student studying at Oxford, but he also ran track in school and continued to do so in university. practicing in the 45 minutes of time he had in his lunch break. He used to practice very unconventionally, without any proper coach or any strategic method of training. However, somehow he was able to break into the Olympics, and he actually participated in the 1952 Olympics with no luck, sadly, because due to a change in the schedule of events, it caused him to have to run back-to-back events without taking any break in the middle. And since he was not used to this, that exhausted his body completely, and he was not able to secure any medals. He ended up securing the 4th place in the 1500 meter run, but this was faced by scrutiny from both the British public and the British sports media, and they blamed his unconventional methods of training as well as his lack of having a track coach, leading to his failure to achieve or secure any medals for Britain in this Olympics. Bannister resolved to redeem himself by doing the unachievable. He set out to break this stigma that the 4-minute mile was unachievable. He wanted to, achieve it and prove to the British that he wasn't unconventional and could actually make his name in track, right? So, till now everyone believed that this was a physiological barrier, and Bannister believed this too. So how did he break that belief of his and start preparing for this? He started to tell himself a different story. He started to visualize the race, visualize himself crossing that finish line, and he was telling himself that this isn't a physiological barrier, but a psychological one. There was no proof or anything that this was an unachievable task, and therefore he believed that it was achievable in that sense. On May 6, 1954 at Oxford, he was participating in the British Amateur Athletic Association run. He had arranged with a few of his friends to help him pace out the run in such a way that he finished 3/4 of that 1 mile in the first 3 minutes, leaving the rest for the last minute. Finishing the last lap in less than a minute, he collapsed as he crossed the finish line, with the announcer saying that the time he finished that mile was 3 minutes, 59 seconds and 4 milliseconds. At the age of 25, Roger Bannister had made history by breaking this unachievable task. Just 46 days later, another runner ended up breaking Roger's record, and within the same year, 3 other runners had broken the same record. And today, even high schoolers can do it. Once Roger Bannister shattered this narrative of impossibility, he didn't just break a world record, but he opened up everyone's minds as well. No longer did everyone believe that this was unachievable. They also had that belief of theirs broken. He proved that the most formidable barriers that we have are not physical, but they are mental and created by the stories that we tell ourselves. Roger Bannister didn't change the laws of physics or anything. He just changed the way he talked to himself. And we also should do that. The next time we face a challenge or a task that seems unachievable to us, instead of saying that you can't do it, try saying that you can do it. The power of positive reinforcement and positive self-talk can make us stop being our own biggest obstacles. Because the most powerful voice that we will ever hear is the voice of ourselves. If we don't believe in ourselves, how are we going to do anything that we want to do, right? Make sure that whatever story you're telling yourself is something that you can build, something that you can achieve, and not something that will fail at. This brings us to my introduction of our Toastmaster Diri. She is a learning and development head for Allen South India campuses, and she has a BTech in mechanical from Government Women's Engineering College and an MBA from Career Point University in Kota. She is an explorer at heart and loves traveling, playing the guitar, doing mandala art, and experimenting in the kitchen. She personally loves meeting new people and learning from their stories, probably where she got the theme for today. She joined Toastmasters to refine her communication, connect with inspiring individuals, and improve herself personally and professionally. With a huge round of applause, let's give it up for the MC of the day, Toastmaster Sakshi Gupta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for such a warm introduction. fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Did you ever make a story out of a tiny moment? I recently moved into a new team, and one morning I just greeted my manager. Good morning, sir. He didn't reply. I thought maybe he doesn't like me. Then he didn't include me in the meeting. My thoughts turned into a story. I thought this appraisal is gone. Promotion is cancelled and I need to update my resume. And I even stopped asking for him for any favors, not even any leaves. Later, I discovered that he didn't hear my good thought. That's the funniest thing of stories. Sometimes a tiny moment becomes a full-blown story in our heads. And the scariest part is, not only do we believe these stories, we live with these stories. In fact, when Ralph C. Smedley started Toastmasters in 1924, it was built with one simple vision: improve communication with practice, feedbacks and storytelling. And till now, more than 8 million people have been have connected across 148 countries. A typical Toastmasters meeting has 3 sections. First, a prepared speech section where a member prepare their speeches according to their pathways and projects, and they speak here. The second section is the table topic section where we learn impromptu speaking and speak on our needs. And the third section is the general evaluation session where we learn from the constructive feedback. Now it's time to bring the meeting to life. I request all TAPG role takers to kindly rise and introduce your roles with confidence. The timer for today, Toastmaster Chakravarthy.
Time is quintessential resource. Once it is spent, it cannot be regained. Dear Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, dear guest. As a timer for today's meeting, I will be time all the role players during the meeting. I will highlight minimum, intermediate and maximum time per speech using green, yellow and red cards. For example, for prepared speech, the time is 5 to 7 minutes, 5, 6, 7 minutes. For evaluation, 2, 2.5, 3 minutes. And for table topics, 1, 1.5 and 2 minutes. Every speaker gets 30 seconds grace time to conclude their speech. So I request all role players to stick to attend allotted time and help us to finish the meeting on time. Thank you and bye.
Our counter for today, Toastmaster Punith.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day. As the R counter, my purpose is to listen for filler words and phrases like or you know that sneak into speeches and keep us from sounding our best. I will actively track filler words, overused phrases, and long pauses, for example, and, but, so, you know, and I will share my observation during the evaluation section of the meeting when called upon. Thank you.
PP Evaluator for today, Toastmaster Aparna.
Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, quintessentially speaking, my role today is to urge everyone in this room to keep your phones on silent mode, refrain from speaking during the speaker's speech, refrain from speaking on sex, religion and politics, enter and exit only during an applause, avoid crosstalks, especially when someone is speaking behind the lectern. And I will give the report at the end when called upon. Thank you.
Grammarian for today, Toastmaster Lalana.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good grammar is the spice of any language. As the grammarian for today's meeting, I would be making use of the good usages and the not so good usages of words used by the speakers behind the lectern. I would also like to introduce the word of the week, which is quintessential and means perfectly typical or representative of a particular kind of person or thing. An example of this would be his speech was a quintessential example of effective storytelling. I would request the speakers to use the word of the week in the correct context and not use it just for the sake of using and be recorded by the grammarian. I would be giving my report during the evaluation session. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you all the TAPG role takers. As we move into the first section, that is prepared speeches, let's listen for the quintessential moments that shape each speaker's story today. Before moving to the first speaker, I request the first evaluator, Shreedevi, Toastmaster Shreedevi, to read out the project items.
The speaker is attempting introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. The member completing this project is developing an understanding of Toastmasters mentoring. The speech is about a time when the member was a protege, and it may be from any time in their life, and they may discuss any aspect of the protege experience. The speech should not be a report on the content of the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring project. All the best to the speaker. Back to you.
Our first speaker today is a business management student at Jain University and is a part of Jain Toastmasters Club. He is obsessed with 3 M's: machine, management and movies. He aims to become a public speaker and an entrepreneur after his graduation. His speech title is The North Star. The North Star. Let's give it a Toastmaster style welcome to Toastmaster Keshava.
A very good evening to everyone present here.
Good evening.
Well, before I start, I want everyone to close their eyes. Just imagine you are a sailor in the 12th century. You are sailing across the seas, but you don't have any compass. At night, in the pitch darkness, you look for direction. You don't know where to look, and you look up the sky and see one star, which is very luminous and bright, which is the North Star. Open your eyes. The North Star has been guiding people for centuries, and in the darkness, it was the hope which drove them back to their home. In my life, there was this one period where I was stuck in a very dark, very depth of life. It was very sad phase of my life. And there was this one star who guided me. Now, a little bit about me. In my past, as a schooler, I was a very bright and energetic kid. I was very passionate about sports. I used to play outside my home until my mother came out with a chappal in her hand and literally threw it on me. I was a very good student, I'd say. I was a top scholar in math and pretty above average in other subjects, which was true until COVID hit. I felt sick and couldn't attend the online classes which was conducted for nearly 2 to 3 months. Following which, when I did attend, I found out during the classes I couldn't understand even one topic properly. At that moment, my confidence shattered. I didn't know what to do. I just shut myself in a room, stopped attending any classes. I just got addicted to my phone, watching random videos, dramas, movies, etc. But as time passed, my class teacher noticed that I was not regular to classes. So she called me and asked me what happened. I cried out, I told everything, how I felt, how I gave up on myself and expected myself to grow up to be some mechanic or a Uber driver. Well, the heaven took pity on me and they sent a person who was quintessential to an angel. A person with a bright smile, a warm personality. That was my teacher, my chemistry teacher, Teresa ma'am. She not only motivated me and mentored me in the next following time period, she also, during the call, she literally asked, literally told me that don't waste your talent, don't waste your potential. You can be something more, someone great. And she actually was very polite. She was like, please come to classes and try your best. I'll help you. And at one point of time, I felt like she was literally telling me to come there, attend classes. But why? She wouldn't get anything from that. Not any fame, not money, not any recognition. But she did it for me. And at that point of time, I decided I had to take a step back and had to come out of whatever I was feeling back then. And I decided I had to not let their hopes down, who had great expectation, great love and care to me. She started guiding me. She taught me all the lesson, all the topics which I missed during my absence. So I visited her home every day. She taught me every topic, everything I was not good at, whichever doubt I had. And she was the luminous star, my north star, who mentored me, who guided me, and who demotivated me to live and motivated me to explore my potential. And today, if I'm confident and look forward to my future and aspire to be someone great, someone like a great entrepreneur or a businessman, it's thanks to her. So, to conclude, everyone will have a dark phase. Everyone will get this point in life where they are very low on motivation, low on anything. They have low expectation from the future. But what I will say is, look up to the sky. You'll see a north star, which will guide you forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Keshav. With that, invite our individual evaluator for the second speech, Toastmaster Ujwal, to read out the project title.
Namaste, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of this project is for the member to understand the different types of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at the club meeting. With that, I wish the member all the very best and back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Our next speaker is a final year BCom student currently preparing for CS and CSEET. He is passionate about traveling and sports enthusiast. His speech title is What Story Holds Value? What Story Holds Value? Let's welcome Toastmaster Darshan to take us through the world of second speech. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. The second speaker is Toastmaster Adishwar, and the speech title is What Truly Holds Value? Toastmaster Adishwar.
Don't save what is left after spending. Don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Spend what is left after saving. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Yesterday I was scrolling through my phone and I come up with an interesting news. So I see what news is there. Our Prime Minister, Shreya Modi, has advised the country to not rush into buying gold. Seeing that message, news, I was shocked and confused. Why? Why aren't we supposed to invest in gold? Why? Because I've been hearing from past these years in my family that investing in gold is a safe investment. So reading that news, I was scared that has gold lost its value or we cannot invest in gold anymore. But then I read the news carefully and the statement given by our Prime Minister had a different meaning. Our country imports huge amount of gold from other countries, and when we excessively purchase gold unnecessarily, it increases the pressure on foreign currencies, and that hits our economy. These days, everyone talks about earning more money. Yes, we want to earn more money. We dream about high salaries, luxury, expensive lifestyle, and financial freedom. But do we think all about this, but do we think how will we save it? Not just save it, how will we save it wisely? How will we invest it and how will we grow it gradually? Back in my school days, when I used to save little amount of money also, I used to feel, wow, I saved money. And sometimes I would save money up to 1,000 rupees, I would be like, wow, 1,000 rupees, I can buy a lot of things with that. Or no, I will save it for the future because I have 1,000 rupees and in future I can buy so many things. But today, when I see that 1,000 rupees, I have a completely different feeling. One outing with your friends on a weekend and 1,000 is disappeared. And I'm like, what? Back then 1,000 meant so much, and now by this we understand money left idle loses its value over time due to inflation, and this is where investing comes into the picture. Now, if I want to invest and I ask you which place or which sector should I invest now, can you suggest me? Toastmaster Rahul, where do I invest now?
First, you attend my webinar, 6 to 8.
Where can I invest my money? Stocks, okay. So everyone will give me different opinions, and that's interesting. But none of you are completely right nor completely wrong, because every investment has its own strength and own risks. So now with everyone giving me different opinions, we can have a great debate. But let's keep that for the break time. Now let's just talk about the investments we can do. There are various investment ways. Like, firstly, we'll take an example of gold. Gold has been trusted in Indian families over generations, not just because it's beautiful as jewelry, but because it holds both emotional and financial value. Gold can be converted into money, cash, anytime, and that's the main advantage. During any emergency, you cannot break your FD or sell your land to get money, but you can give your gold and get money. Liquidity gives us confidence, and that's why gold has been one of the safest investment options. Not only seeing it as an investment option in India, but even in global wise. During any uncertainty, during the demonetization, during the COVID-19, and even now during the wars happening, one thing remains same. What? The gold price kept on increasing. And yet people are buying it. Why? Because gold markets, gold fluctuations can be only this much, not like the stock market fluctuations. I'm not talking about stock markets. Yes, the most excited investment area where the youth of today are investing today. Yes, even I do invest in stock markets. Now don't ask me about my portfolio, is it red or green, please. So yeah, stock markets, we see videos and reels every day that someone will post a reel, I earned so much in stock market. And seeing that another person, wow, he's earning so much in stock market, even I should invest. Without any knowledge, even he started investing. But they don't realize that one political issue or one global event or one company scandal, and overnight the company will crash and everything is over. Investing in stock market requires huge amount of knowledge, patience, discipline, and sometimes luck as well. It's not a market where you just try to copy someone else and invest. If you do that, you're definitely going into loss. Another type of investment where you can invest, real estate. That's a dream investment. You can make huge amount of money. Like just imagine owning 3-4 lands in South Bangalore today. Wow, that's just a dream to me. But with such high returns, there are high challenges as well. You need a huge capital. Where do you get the capital from? There are a lot of paperwork, and even during emergencies, you cannot sell your land at any time. And if you get a buyer, you will not get at the right market price. So wherever there are strengths, there are some risks as well. So not to go with big investments, we can go with small investments as well. Mutual funds, SIPs, FDs. Yeah, they are not high rewarding like these three, the gold, gold or stock market or ESG. But these small platforms will give you sometimes simple and consistent investments can create the strongest results. At the end of the day, most of us are not going for luxury. We just want peace of mind and a belief that whatever we have earned today, when we need it in the future, grows and is helpful for us. So maybe what truly holds value is not just the money we save, but the smart decision we make today that quietly protects our tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adishwar. Now we move to the second section for today's meeting, and that is the most exciting one, that is table topic section, where we don't prepare answers, we prepare thinking. Our table topic master for today is a BE student from RV College of Engineering. He enjoys watching anime and going to the gym. He once thought everything would stay forever, but he realized change is the only constant. Not the pain, not the happiness, not even the version of us experiencing it. With that, let's welcome the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Darshan, to take us to the world of spontaneous thinking.
Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, I have some interesting topics prepared for you all. I want you all to take the meaning literally and not think too much and try your best to speak for 2 minutes. So let's start with the first topic. You wake up as AI. You wake up as AI goes to Toastmaster Punith.
So every day I used to wake up as human, but Darshan, tabletop master Darshan has given me a topic where I will wake up as AI tomorrow morning, right? So I'm a pretty high usage of AI. I use AI extensively. I would say I'm very mean with it sometimes. Like sometimes I think my conversation goes from, hey, can you help me out with this? And it gives me an answer. I will be okay with it. And when I don't like the answer, AI would be, I think it's very understanding. But again, if I don't like the answer, I will be I don't know if I will be able to take up the opposite roles, right? For I'm thinking if I will be physical robot as an AI, that means that we have, I don't know, sorry about that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Punith. I thought maybe you might think of yourself as AI and normal humans would approach you asking questions. So yeah. Next topic is oxygen is now a paid commodity. Oxygen is now a paid commodity. Goes to distinguished Toastmaster M U Bhat.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Probably our table topic master is picturing a doomsday scenario, as it probably may have been happening in the near future. And we should not be surprised for it, and we should be prepared for it. Now, you have already seen earlier water was in abundance. Nobody had water in bottles. Now, everywhere we carry water in bottles. Because there has become a scarce commodity, a good quality water which you have to have, you have to buy, pay money and bread. And there certainly is going to come, a time will come when we will be struggling to get proper oxygen. The way what's happening here with the industrialization, whatever globalization, whatever you call, so much of carbon dioxide being produced, the greenhouse effect and all that. And it becomes we have to struggle to get proper oxygen for our body, because this is the most important or the very life, the quintessential thing of our life. Breathing. And oxygen is very much required, though it contains only 23% of what we inhale. 77% is going to be carbon dioxide, what we inhale from the atmosphere. But that is the one which is sustaining us. And that itself becomes a scarce commodity. That could be a very scary thing. In fact, when you go to higher altitudes, already people are observing it. When you go to Kedarnath, Badrinath or Amarnath and all that, people carry oxygen cylinders because oxygen is rare there and your atmospheric pressure is low and the oxygen is scarce. So you have to carry your own cylinder. Otherwise you simply will not survive. So that is a very exceptional consideration when you are going to altitudes. But if it happens in the real life scenario, what we see here, then what can we save us? Because that is the most important thing in life for sustaining life. So only we can hope and pray that our industrialists, our technologists will take care to see that we are not deprived of this scarce commodity. Or at least we should be able to convert something from carbon dioxide if we can get back the oxygen, CO2 to oxygen. Probably that's something like what's happening in solar energy or whatever. If you can get it, probably that could be one solution. But I only hope that things will only be not as bad as probably our table topic master envisages.
Thank you, DTM M U Bhat. So in life we pay money for almost everything. Everything has become a commodity. Who knows, maybe after 500 or 1000 years we might have to fight for clean oxygen, and as technology evolves we need to pay money even for oxygen. So the next topic is, you can rewrite one chapter of your life. If you can rewrite one chapter of your life, Toastmaster Rahul.
Happy evening, everyone.
Happy
One
evening.
chapter of the life which I want to rewrite will be nothing. Because one simple thing I will tell you, whatever happens is for a reason, and from there we are learning something which is helping us, which is shaping ourselves. When we as we move forward towards our life, what good thing, bad thing, right thing, wrong thing, it can be anything for that matter, but it will be shaping us throughout the career. There are few examples which I immediately remember. One, in my last speech I told you that the DT table, I was deprived of it. Because I started shaping my skills, sharpening my skills around that, then I was able to achieve something in that. Anything which is hitting, there is a point for us that we have to reflect upon it, and maybe we can sharpen ourselves, give ourselves time there, and then improve. We are coming to Toastmasters for what? To improve our speaking skills. We know everyone at the core of our that there is some improvement which we have to do. Without that we are lacking. That's the reason we are all here, and that's why everyone is building this environment here. Same thing, I'm here to learn. After that, I'm implementing on social media, on my clients, in communication with others. How exactly this is helping? There are three ways how this is helping. First thing, when I sit here and watch others talk, there are different perspectives which I'm gaining, which helps me communicate much better, wherein I can say my message is being passed on. Second is having an empathy. Like we have to listen to other person what he is trying to say. Third is what we learned from DTMs. It is exclusively something. How do you handle a situation where you don't know what to talk? And you start fine tuning yourselves around it, and that is what I would like to say. With this, back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. So the next topic is, the lie you believe is true. The lie you believe is true goes to Toastmaster Jyothi.
Table topic master and Toastmasters. The lie, I believe it to be true. I think it is the labels that we grow up, and those labels are given by our own parents and people around us. Not because they want to, but that is how they see us. Unknowingly, unwantingly, thinking they are going to make the child be stronger or be better, they say things. And which, as we grow up, we must and we should shed it out. We must think about, is it right or wrong? This is what I learned during my diploma in counseling skills, self-awareness, which was a great insight to me. Throughout my life, when I look back, I've always been a crybaby. People have called me crybaby innumerable times. What is Jyothi? She knows nothing. Tell her to cry, cry immediately. I grew up thinking that I am helpless, more than helpless. I do not have the guts and all those things. And during that awareness program, I realized it was my helplessness and anger that made me cry. Because my thought process, my behavior, my understanding was very different. And for my parents, maybe it was difficult for them to handle. And not understanding why I cried, they told me that you are a crybaby. Much later in life, I realized I am very strong emotionally. My tears are my strength. I don't carry any baggage with me because I cried. Even today, I cry. No one can stop me from crying when I want to cry. it just impulsively, just the tears flow. And the biggest lie people think is crying is a weakness. And today I tell you, standing here, it is the biggest strength we have been given by the divine to cry out and unshed our unwanted baggages. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi. Usually when Toastmaster Jyothi comes up as table topics master, she gives topics which have 3-4 different perspectives. So I thought of giving that back to her and she did a good job. So the next topic is, if memories can be sold. If memories can be sold, goes to Toastmaster Chetan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan, for the lovely topic. This actually takes me back to the story of Roger Bannister that Toastmaster Shreya already shared. When Roger Bannister was much younger, he was actually trained by his father. He was his first coach. And his father would make him do cross-country running. So he would run uphill and he would run on these dusty roads. What his father challenged him to do was to then run as fast as possible and would time him during these runs. One day he told his son, "Hey, you ran the whole mile in 4 minutes." He convinced his son that he had run the entire 1 mile in 4 minutes. He sold him a story, a memory that does not exist. His son actually took 5 minutes. But his father cheated and told him it took 4 minutes. And for the rest of his life, Roger Bannister pursued the 4-minute mile because he knew he's already done it. He was sold a memory that never happened. Sometimes that is the most powerful thing you can do as a parent, as a friend, as a colleague, as anybody. If I had a chance, I would probably do this now, right? For my own daughter, I would tell her, hey, you can do things, you can achieve things. And I would hype her up way more than she's ever realized she's capable of. And this is probably true for me as well. I should start thinking about the same. I should sell myself the dreams that I don't have, and hopefully one day I would achieve them. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. And the next topic is, you can delete one human emotion. What would it be? If you can delete one human emotion, what would it be? It goes to Toastmaster Lalana.
This is the topic master, the Toastmaster. Yes. If I could delete one emotion, I think all of you will agree with me that anger is the most delicate emotion we all have. Though I don't show it so much now, earlier I used to. I think with age we all mellow and we become more mature, and though you feel it inside will be boiling, you cannot show it outside. Especially when you are part of some organizations, maybe Toastmasters, or when you take up positions. No, I am in Rotary and other organizations as well, as most of you know. So when your teammates are there and they don't perform, and then you are in meetings, you know you are very angry with them, but then you cannot shout at them because it's a voluntary organization also. Nobody is making any money out there. But then they also have to perform because they have come there voluntarily and taken up the post, and they need to do what they need to do, right? So when they don't do that, many times I have faced this, like I become really angry. And then you end up doing what they are supposed to do yourself because you are the team head. Like I was a district chair and I had 8 people in my team. Like one is an editor, one is like how we have PR person here. there is a different designation there. One is a secretary, one is a treasurer, and one is part of starting new class extension. So they all have to do their jobs. They all know that we give them training and all that. But still some people don't perform. So that is when I would feel that anger inside me, but then I could not show it outside. So I'm glad that I've been able to overcome that emotion. But sometimes we show it on our families because they take it. Though we can be nice to outsiders, but I think I should avoid that as well and be the same at home with my family as well. Back.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lalana. So the next topic is save one friend or 10 strangers. Save one friend or 10 strangers goes to Toastmaster Chakravarthy. Save one friend or 10 strangers.
Dear Toastmaster and dear guests. So the world is surrounded of more people. That too, specifically when India, the population is very huge. So there are so many strangers we come across, and we have very good friends as well. So when the situation comes into save a friend or 10 strangers, so the situation decides. So what is the situation? Whether the friend is in what state, what situation? If that can be managed, okay, and strangers are there in difficult situation, and that we have to give priority to that. So of course I choose strangers. So I help the strangers because friend is not in so much danger and he can survive himself. So I decide based on the situation. So not only in this friend or strangers, wherever we have to just think the situation and give the priority based on the scenario. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chakravarthy, for saving 10 strangers. We can be selfish, and some people might choose their friends. Even I will choose my friend. So the next topic is your second life starts today. Your second life starts today. Goes to Toastmaster Aparna.
Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. So Darshan is giving me second life today. So I think I can create it how I would want it, right? With all the wisdom I have gained over a couple of years now. So if I have to create my second life, I would have this life where I choose myself every second situation I get. I would choose peace over the chaos and spontaneity and I don't know. But yeah, I would choose more of happiness, the happiness which is drawn internally versus externally, which comes through people, through external sources rather than embrace myself, deepen my own joy, internal joy, through uplifting my self-worth, self-esteem. Those are the words, but it means a lot when you start to work upon, since I'm working upon myself, so I do understand what it actually means, working and letting go of the labels. As Jyothi said, we all are given labels as we are growing up. And when we drop those labels and let go and see ourselves beyond those labels, what we are. So, and to see the truth of the potential of who you are. So that's the life I would want to create for myself, where I see myself, who I am, and lead a peaceful and joyful life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aparna. And the last topic is, if animals ran the government. If animals ran the government, goes to distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome. Yes. If animals were to rule the government or the nation, first you have forgotten in that question that man is an animal. On the planet Earth, we are two-legged animal. There is a book, a profound book by one Desmond Morris. He has titled it Human Zoo. It's a very readable book. He's a zoologist. He considers this society as a zoo and how human beings behave like animals in the process. Animals go after, in the forest, let's say, animals, stronger animals, go after the lesser, weak animals, let us say, and use it as their prey. Here we don't eat physically, but we eat each other mentally. If you go to any office setup or a team, if you take our XCOM, any of these XCOM, somebody tries to dominate, somebody doesn't work, like Toastmaster Lalana said, there will be a lot of tug of war. It's a mixture, and that mix comes out, something is churned out and thrown out. Whether it is right, wrong, there is no judgment, but it happens. If you take a cricket team, there is enough churning, selection, dropping, the survival of the fittest, the whole lot of thing goes in there, and the works is there. The man is an animal. First of all, the question has to be reworded. So the point is that the animals don't talk; they make noises. They have their own signals. We have our own signal, not just words, but when we utter the word, the body language plays a role. I may be praising him, but I'm telling, I know inside I'm not. My body language tells this is something else. So we give different signals. Sometimes the verbal, sometimes the body language, sometimes the written word, sometimes implicit meaning. The word is complex, but you can be there with very simple ways, and you can still be successful. And life is not as dreary or as tough as we think it is. If you live day by day, Einstein says we face future one day at a time. Okay, today if you think today is yesterday, that you thought would be worst day tomorrow. So all these things is part of life. So I would say, think positively, don't think in terms of complexity. If you are doing your bit of work, you will always win. Go to table topic master.
Thank you, DTM A K Prabhakara. You outsmarted me with your take. You outsmarted me your take on this. I would have really loved to hear your take on from an animal's perspective. So okay, this comes to an end of our table topics.
Just one extra point here. You said that rightly. There is a contra argument. Typically, this is an important point I am trying to make for Toastmasters speaker, table topic speakers. People, if you put a table topic proper, they tend to agree with the topic. So you have to be sometimes alert enough to put a contra point of view. to make yourself comfortable with respect to that. Because the table topic master is trying to pull the leg. So you should firmly hold your leg on the ground. That's what I did.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. With this, we end with our second section for today, and it's time for a networking break for 10 minutes. It's time for our third section for today's meeting, that is general evaluation session, where we receive constructive feedback and we improve ourselves. Our general evaluator for today is having 20 plus years of experience in soft skill as a soft skill trainer. She enjoys reading, dancing, traveling, and cooking. One story she believes was success equals to hard work. One story which she used to believe was success equals to hard work. Now she believes that success equals to smart work plus networking. With that, I would like to call General Evaluator for today, Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Meeting number 1367, which is being held today, that is on 11th May 2026, was a meeting wherein a lot of learning, different speeches, excellent responses to table topics, and learning which we will carry for a long time. And a lot of pointers what we need to evaluate ourselves, constant feedback, what is required all the time. They say in Toastmasters, evaluation and feedback is the main goal behind Toastmasters running success. So let's start the session. Now there are certain general guidelines which I want to start with and then head for the session. Now whenever everyone comes there in the lesson, there is no appropriate addressing to the crowd. It is, as we told explained before also, it is usually Madam or Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster and esteemed guest. This is how we need to address everyone. So I request all the mechanics to please follow the pattern. Second, the meeting started at 6:26 p.m. which we are 11 minutes late. And I can understand there were role takers to be assigned, lot of kiosk here and there, the board had to be written, lot of things. So I request all the members of the club to please be here by 6:05, 6:10, help out the sergeant at arms if we need, because it's the one person who's coming here and there. So he needs a lot of help. So please come, try helping our sergeant so that the meeting starts early. Starts early, we have a quality meeting, we end early. So let's do it and help our sergeant. Now it's always, whenever we are addressing someone, it also has to be the position what they are in the meeting right now. So when I talk about Shreya, it just can't be Toastmaster Shreya. Because she is the presiding officer right now, this has to be acting president Toastmaster Shreya. So we need to keep the title also in the mind. Next, I don't understand, is there an energy less or you all are very hungry by 6:15 or what the problem is? There is no thunderous round of applause. We are not encouraging the speakers. To come from there till here, it takes a lot of challenges, lot of determination, dedication, support. Because none of us are excellent speakers or orators here. If we were that, we don't need to join Toastmasters. Let's be very clear. We are here to help ourselves, enhance ourselves, groom ourselves. So we need to groom ourselves and others also. That's only going to be a good learning experience for us. So request everyone to give a thunderous round of applause. Can I have a sample of how the thunderous round of applause? I hope everyone sees the recording and understand what a thunderous round of applause means. And we are Mekon Communication Club. Let's keep a thunderous round of applause coming every time. Yes, now TAPG role takers, one more note for you guys, everyone it is. So everyone I see writing in your personal books, I would request everyone to shift everything to the main books, because when someone else is taking and you want to look at the data, of the meeting, we are not fighting it because we need it there. So I want everyone to shift all your observations after one to the main books with your signatures and all the details to be filled in. Because I have seen the previous pages, a lot of roll takers, there is no date, no meeting number, no observation, nothing. And importantly, your signatures also should be there. So I want all these details to be filled in. And to the evaluators, whoever take up the evaluation role, individual evaluator, project resource has to be read out, but with that evaluation criteria also has to be read out. That's also very important because let the audience also understand what is the project all about and what is the evaluation criteria, what you're going to be evaluating them on. So it's going to help everyone to understand it better. Thank you. Now let me start with the general evaluation. Our Sergeant at Arms today, Toastmasters Sakshi, he started the meeting. For the theme, the story we tell ourselves. Good morning was really good. This is how. Sorry, did anyone observe the mistake what I did?
Good morning. Good evening.
What did I tell now?
Good morning.
So what should I tell?
Good evening.
So what did our sergeant tell? Good morning or good evening?
Good evening.
Good evening. Everyone sure?
Yeah.
Yes. This is just to test how knowledge you are. So his good evening was so solid and rocking them. And that's how good evening he started and everyone was tuned. Good Sakshi, this is how it has to start. This is the Sergeant at Arms, he starts the meeting, he sets the mood for this meeting and this is how it should start for us. Thunderous, good evening. And seeing Sachin from a very long time as a sergeant, his improvement is really going very good upwards. It's not coming downward anywhere. He's improving every meeting. Let it be the way he addresses the crowd, his content, the way he introduces the president, it's improving every day. And there's a positive trend in that. So very good for that, a very good applause for that. Also, a thunderous round of applause for him. Introduction of president, I think there was a last minute change from Aparna, our president not coming in. You handled it really well. With all the things need to be done. And overall, a very good start to the session and it sets the tempo for the session what we can expect. Let's again give a huge round of applause to our sergeant and all the best for further improvements. Now our acting president, Toastmaster Shreya, as a president does, an acting president who does the guest introductions. MOM was read. I wouldn't like, there's nothing to talk about much of the MOM for secretary because he reached as excellent as it was as every week it goes. So let's give a huge round of applause for our secretary, Toastmaster Ujwal. Now, acting president in her speech, in your address, you spoke about Roger Bannister, who was the hero favorite. You spoke about his story, about how did it change him. Everything was good, very apt to the theme what was given to you. You never looked like you had very less time for preparation. Prepared well and came, the way you presented behind the lectern, your confidence, everything was very good. And it looked very encouraging for everyone, for us also, realizing that if we get very less time also to prepare, we need to do it really well because we are Toastmasters and we need to be prepared for such situations. It was very good and I would say that everyone, not even the active president, do not get paper over here and look at it. Do not get paper over it. It gets distracted to the audience. Because the moment you look down, you are not looking for 1 second. Everyone is looking for 5 seconds because there are a couple of others also got papers and they were looking here and then you lose your audience. As a skills development trainer, this is what we observe. You look at the paper, you do not maintain your eye contact, lose your audience. You lose attention. So everyone over here, I would say, be prepared, structure it here and come, do not get the paper. You are going to lose your audience. So try doing that. And the introduction, the way you introduce our MC of Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sakshi, excellent. Let's give a huge round of applause for our acting president, Toastmaster Shreya. Now let me call upon our individual evaluators. Both the evaluators for today. Did you get the evaluation resource, project resource well in advance?
Yes.
Yes? You did not. Okay, so you got it. The request that the project resource, evaluation resource should be handed over or sent to the individual evaluator very in advance. There are certain situations where we do not get it from the speaker. I request the speaker to send it to the VP quick so that the VP can send to the individual evaluators. Okay, now calling upon our the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Keshava. I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Shreedevi to give her individual evaluation report.
Madam General Evaluator and Toastmaster Keshava in particular, I will be evaluating you on based on what went well and some areas of improvement and an overall conclusion. First of all, I would like to say it was a beautiful opening that you had that grabbed everyone's attention. Imagine you're a sailor with no compass, looking for a direction. The luminous North Star guiding you. So it was a beautiful storytelling technique that you brought out to explain your experience as a protege. So that was a very good attempt, I would say. And you used vivid imagery throughout the speech. The luminous North Star, the helplessness during the online classes, how your confidence was shattered, how heaven took pity on me. So these are some of the things that you used in a typical storytelling technique that elevates the story. And the main point of your speech was about how your teacher, Teresa ma'am, saw potential in you when no one else did, not even yourself. And sometimes we need just that one person to believe in you to help you bounce back. So that came through very well. And the helplessness, relatability, and the act of bouncing back was a perfect narration, and that's what made your speech very engaging. And I really liked how you connected your conclusion to your opening. It again ended with how, if you are feeling helpless too, you too can look at the sky and find the luminous North Star. So overall, it was a very engaging speech, and let's give him a huge round of applause for that. If I could suggest some areas of improvement, I wish I could hear a little more about your personal transformation as a protege. Quintessentially, the project was about your experience as a protege. So, while you touched upon mainly about how the mentor played a role, and you did talk about your experience, but a little more dramatic elements about how it pushed you. For example, you went to the teacher's house every day to learn. So whenever we are depressed, we are not in a high mood every time. So we have to really constantly push ourselves to get out of it. So a little more elements about how you really got over it would meet the requirement of you explaining your journey as a prodigy. But that didn't take away from your speech because it came across beautifully or as how the mentor played a role in your life. Another thing that I would suggest is this was a personal and anecdotal narration, right? So it does not require title phrases. For example, you started a speech like, before I start, I want you all to close your eyes. So before I start is not required. A little bit about me somewhere in the middle of the speech. Or so to conclude. So these are all title phrases that you have added that makes the storytelling a little more technical. So when it's a personal anecdote, you can make it more clear with transitions more smooth. So overall, a well-prepared speech, well-executed speech, beautiful opening and an impactful conclusion. And the big difference that your teacher made in your life came through very well. A little more efforts in the reflection of you as a protege, and the transition will take your speech to the next level. All the best to you, and back to you, Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmasters Shreedevi, for your valuable evaluation. I just like to add on one more point, Toastmaster Keshava, that I would suggest that this was a speech. You could use the stage more because it was big stage. You could use the stage more appropriately. And second, you need to help yourself on working on your body language, because there are a lot of places where you could give more better expressions, which could hold the audience more tightly, and it should give your speech a more better look when you're looking from the audience point of view. So please imitate it, and maybe your next speech would be more better than mine. Let's give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Chetan. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ujwal, who is the individual evaluator for Toastmaster Adishwar. Huge round of applause. You understand?
What a well audience aware and a time aware speech that was. Amazing. Now it's about Toastmasters, and this was the first thing that I really liked about your speech. The further things I follow in what I liked was how unfazed you were despite a little mess up on your intro. The intro being a little messed up here and there would sometimes make us lose confidence and already leaves an impression on the audience. You covering that up as if nothing happened immensely impacted on the way your audience perceived your confidence. Kudos on that. The next thing was how you handled the audience interaction really well. When you posed the question to one of the members and you got a very unexpected, bewildering answer, you took that in stride and asked another person. Great job on not getting phased there. I really appreciate your confidence in not getting phased. Here are a few things that can help you take your speech to the next level. The moment you're delivering a persuasive speech, it has a specific structure. Start with your credentials. I can talk about space. I can ask everyone here to become an astronaut. But why would they? Have I proved it? I would like to see you presenting a very simple credential saying, fellow Toastmasters, investing in the past 1 year, I have made 1 lakh by just investing for the past 12 months. Would have been a great intro to your credentials. The second thing is your structure. The simplest structure that I would have loved to see you follow, rather than the mix-up of story, understanding, and a huge theory at the end, would have been, tell the audience what you're going to tell them, have one simple message and convey that to the audience. And then tell them, hey, this is what I told you, this is what I expect you to do, this is the action that you take. That would have been a much simpler structure. I would have had a higher hit rate in the audience. The third thing is your pace. For a persuasive speech to land, your pace has to be slow because you cannot afford to lose even one audience member. The moment you lose the first audience member, the second will look at them and follow. You're trying to persuade them. So keep your pace as slow as required. The second thing that I would like to highlight is for you to understand that only during your speech 7 minutes, your lectern is limited to this area. Before and after the speech, your audience are your friends and your lectern exceeds this portion. So the next time you want to pose a question to the audience member, especially in a speech where you're trying to convey something, go to the audience member, tell them, I'm going to ask you this question, and help them in the way that you want the answer to be. For example, in your case, you could have gone to Toastmaster Rahul and asked him, Toastmaster Rahul, I will be posing this question during my speech. I'd like to respond in kind. That would have helped both of you gel well and the persuasive speech land much better. In summary, you were unfazed through your intro and the audience interaction, and you had chosen a very well audience and time aware topic. The things that you can work upon are your structure, which includes your credentials, structure and pacing, and also to understand that your lecture extends beyond this section. With that, wishing you all the very best for your future speeches and back to our general lecture.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal, for valuable feedback. Just a point to add on, Adishwar, you stand behind like this, and at a stationary position, you are moving a lot. So that needs to be worked upon because the impact of your speech goes down during that time. Because when you're standing there and stationary and you're just moving around, my whole attention will be on why you're moving so much. So if you can start working on that, you will. Let's give a huge round of applause to the evaluator and the speaker. Yes, this looks like and sounds like thunder of applause. Thank you. Okay, now coming to our TAPG. Yes. I would like to call upon our timer for the day, Toastmaster Chakravarthy, to help us with this report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmaster, dear guests, here is my timer's report. So, meeting started 6:26 p.m. Welcome by Sachin, 2 minutes 10 seconds. President address Shreya, 5 minutes. Introduction 1 minute. Previous meetings 2 minutes. MC speech 4 minutes 25 seconds. The first project speaker Keshava 7 minutes, and the first evaluation Shreedevi 3 minutes 25 seconds. Adishwar 6 minutes 30 seconds. Evaluation by Ujwal, Toastmaster Ujwal 3 minutes 30 seconds. Table topic, speech wise time written on the board. Overall time is 25 minutes 41 seconds. Break time 10 minutes. This concludes my report. Back to General.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chakravarthy, for the timer of the day. One point to everyone and to him. It is always when you are addressing people here, the title, that is, it has to be Toastmaster Latha, Toastmaster Shreedevi, Toastmaster Sakshi, not just the first. Please keep in mind. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Punith, who is our counter for the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Today I have tracked down the filler words, overused phrases, and long pauses to help us identify our verbal clutter. Toastmaster Shreya used 6 R's, Toastmaster Keshava 8 M's, 4 repeated words, and Adishwar 4 R's. And rest of them did a good job keeping it less than 4 counts for each other. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon our Grammarian, Toastmaster Lalana.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. Some of the good usages by the speakers today are deflated, redeem, unconventionally, break the stigma, narrative of impossibility, great expectation, luminous star, financial freedom, liquidity, dream investment, change is the only constant, spontaneous thinking, doomsday scenario, envisages, empathy, peace over chaos, self-esteem, implicit, dreary, we face future one day at a time, relatable, hitting us right. There were not too many not so good usages worth mentioning, and I'm glad that many speakers were able to connect and use the word of the day today. Some of the speakers who used the word of the week were Toastmaster Sachin, Toastmaster Chakravarthy, Toastmaster Aparna, Toastmaster Sakshi, Toastmaster Keshava, DTM M U Bhat, and Toastmaster Shreedevi. Have I missed anyone? Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lalana, for the report. Next, I would like to call upon our PP, Evaluator Toastmaster Aparna.
General Evaluator, Toastmasters and dear guests. So today there was a phone which rang during our meeting and there was a tiny bit of crosstalk. Beside that, everything went really well. There was no talk on sex, religion and politics. And everybody entered and exited during the applause, and the meeting went really smooth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aparna, for the report. All the role takers that there are, TAPG role takers, explained their roles very well to us. Usually they just said one-liner or 2-3 words, but today the way all the 4 TAPG role takers explained their role For the people who are new or the guests, they understood what your roles and responsibilities are. Let's give a huge round of applause for all our TAPG role takers. Now coming to our table topic master, Toastmaster Darshan. I would say that you had an excellent start to our table topics. In your nature, only it's humor. You bring humor to the table when you come in. In any situation, you get an appropriate humor side to it. That was there. You had very challenging topics, I would say. When I say challenging topics, these are topics which are I wouldn't have seen in last 3 years over here coming up. Something very different, which made people think honestly over there, what do I respond? But very interesting one. I would not tell something which is very difficult to understand, but something they had to really think and then give the responses. You had a summary of every topic to help the audience understand that what did the speaker speak about. Etiquettes were followed. When I talk about etiquettes were followed, it is like giving the handshake and then moving. The lectern was not empty for even a second. So that is what we call etiquette. That was very well followed over here. The responses to the topic were excellent. When I say excellent, I mean they were very relatable, they were in-depth, and certain topics required information sharing, which was also done for the table topic. That was very good. You added humor whenever required. It was not like humor is just coming out of nowhere. There was a requirement and then the humor came, especially for Toastmaster Jyothi. You made a line over there. Okay, she gave me topic and I'm giving her that one. There's something like that which was required over there. A very smooth transition was there. It's not like from the topic 1 to topic 2. It is not something you couldn't relate to. If the transition from 1 to 2 went on really smooth. The way you conducted was really good. You gave right topics to the right people. What happens to a successful table topic session is you should know which topic to be given to which person. If you give a topic which is not right for that person, he will not or she will not be able to come and present it over here. And when they don't present, they lose their confidence. And the audience also loses over there. So you gave right topics to right people. That was very good. And strong closure was there. When you just concluded it, you had a very strong closure. It's always like when you give a bumper opening, the closure should also be more better than the bumper opening what you give. And that was there in a table topic, which you rarely see. Because sometimes the table topic master just from the concluded walk. That was not. You give a very good closure. And my biggest takeaway from this table topics would be when Jyothi, Toastmaster Jyothi said that able to cry is the biggest strength the human being has. Because it's always told that when you cry, you're weak. No. I agree to the point what she says. The ability to cry in public when you're too overwhelmed is the biggest strength the human being can. Let's give a thunderous round of applause to our table topic master for conducting this beautiful session. Now coming to the person who gave us the theme and who was conducting the session from the start, Toastmaster Sakshi. I would say that very creative, the story we tell ourselves. Very creative. She just messaged me some time back before the session, said like, what is your story about it? So she picked up stories from everyone and she introduced it. Something very creative what has not happened today. They come, they give us the introduction and go. Something story, success story she wanted to know. What I never believed in before but now I believe. Something very different she came out, very creative. Your address was not the long empty addresses what we have. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, it keeps going on. No. You were crisp, to the point, whatever you wanted to tell and you moved on. That was good. Toastmasters history and the club estimates were a little wrong over there. There are not 8 million members. We have around approximately 1,46,000 Toastmasters in 145 plus countries. So we need to keep that over there.
Check your Toastmasters.
So there were 8 million. 8 million members.
You told 8 million.
They have taken advantage of that.
8
over a
million.
period of time, last 100 years.
So they did that because you know 8 million, I'm like 80, how can 8 million members? Because that's showing us 1,46,000 members in approximately 150 countries.
80 lakhs.
80 lakhs.
8 million who are ever registered.
100 years history, probably 80 million.
No, even that way, if you want to say 100 years, it is about 4.5 million. In fact, as told by CEO Daniel Rex, if I remember. it's in one of the interviews in Forbes magazine. How many Toastmasters have gone past that? I have forwarded it to Vignesh once, Amog Vignesh.
Check on the website.
It
got
can,
connected with this. It's the line is got connected with this.
no, please check, no issues with that.
No problem.
Because I remember there's an interview by Daniel Rex, the CEO of Toastmaster, in Forbes magazine a few years back when Amog Vignesh was our president. And at that time I had forwarded it to him. If it is still there, I can show you if it is still that piece is there. And he had mentioned about 4 million, give another 50,000, half a lakh. It cannot be more than like that 8 million.
Because currently we are talking about how many
Number of members.
Currently we are talking about. Okay, and
anyway, the idea is to increase. When you speak, you have to be credible. People should believe you, and you should be authentic enough. That's what she was trying to impress.
And we had to talk about the Toastmasters history a little, and you did not mention when did Mekon Communication Club started, that we needed to cover.
Sorry to interrupt, but on the history of the Toastmasters, it does mention 8 million members of all genders in 148 different countries, territories around the world.
8 million?
Yes.
Okay. Let's have us corrected and improvise. That's all. In case I'm right, I will also send you the
So
interview.
this will be a topic of research. You just check it out. So next time ours who have go over the MC comes, they need to follow these figures and then present it.
Unless they have revised the figure, it's possible.
So we spoke about how does a typical Toastmasters meeting head. The 3 sessions we spoke about, very good. Introduction of the TAPG rules done also very well. Your meeting when you started till the point when you left it and gave it to general evaluator, the cutthroat, the meeting was very creative. As you should, you are a very creative person. You come up with very different creative ideas in all your meetings or any roles will be come. Very appropriate to the theme what you're doing. It's nothing out of the box or something jumping out of the car. But that was that very organized content. So you know that what I have to speak. So whatever we spoke is in a very organized manner. And the flow also was very apt to our typical session what we follow in the communication. Very creative introduction to speakers as I wrote before also. You asked everyone their success stories and then you came up with that. Very good. We should follow usually the HEP pattern as a hobbies, education and profession. So that is what we usually follow when we do this. And I believe looking at the way you presented yourself, your preparations were excellent. I know you are prepared really well a long time and then you come. Very good. Very poised and calm personality behind the lecture. Because sometimes the MCs are, it's like they're so nervous, you can see out of the facial expressions and whatnot. But you were very calm, very poised, very confident. So let's give a huge round of applause for our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sakshi. Did I miss out anyone? I believe I've taken all the note takers. Did I miss out anyone? So I spoke about the general observations also, right? So I hope I'm not missed out. Let's take a check. So overall, the meeting number 1367 with the theme The Story We Tell Ourselves. An excellent qualitative meeting what we had. We had a lot of learning, how we can improve ourselves, a lot of things came up there. And we see that you implement the improvements or the feedback on it. And the next meetings are more top-notch quality than what we had. Now I would like to hand over the charge back to our MC of the day, Toastmasters, Sakshi.
General Evaluator. Now we come to the end of today's meeting, the stories we tell ourselves. Most of the stress in our lives is not because of facts. It comes from the stories that we create in our heads around incomplete facts. The silence becomes rejection. The delay becomes disrespect. A small mistake becomes I am not good enough. So how do we avoid this? Any suggestions?
get our facts right by talking to the right people.
Okay, get our facts right, correct. Any other suggestions?
When you're talking to yourself, you talk
Change the
positive.
story.
Yes.
When you're talking to yourself, talk positive rather than the negative. Most of the time when we are talking to ourselves, it's the negative what we are talking.
Carry out appreciative inquiry. Carry out appreciative inquiry.
Appreciative inquiry. Okay. So, maybe by pausing before assuming, by asking instead of concluding, just like Toastmaster DTM A K Prabhakara mentioned, we should ask why. So we should ask why to us as well. So by asking instead of concluding, by separating facts from interpretation, because sometimes the stories in our head is louder than the truth in front of us. With that thought, I give the charge back to our president, acting president for today, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sakshi. Before we move on, still 2 people need to vote in the ballot. So, after that's done, we'll just move straight into the prize distribution. So, while that's happening, would any of our guests like to tell us how would you like the meeting?
Hi, good evening. I've never sat through a lecture without sleeping for 2 hours. This is the first time I think I've not closed my eyes and kept my attention towards the lecture. And it was a very nice experience for me because I always wanted to speak and always see myself as that who can communicate clearly and who can inspire change among people. And it was a step in the right direction. And thank you all so much. It was enlightening.
I'd say I wasn't expecting such a great evaluation without much of the details. So I'd say everyone here, like, I feel it's a very warm environment and everyone had a smile when they said hi to me. So I think it's a club I would like to come back again and again. So thank you for this.
Hope to see you guys back there closely. So, okay, now we have all the responses. We'll just jump into the winners. Best TAPG role taker. It goes to our Grammarian Toastmaster Lalana. Next up, best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Chetan. Our best evaluated by it was a very close call, goes to Toastmaster Ujwal. Next up, our best MTG role taker goes to our debutant Toastmaster Darshan. Lastly, our best speaker goes to Toastmaster Adishwar. was very fun. We had a nice theme, I think, it was easy to find different perspectives on this theme. Whatever the sergeant, I and the MC spoke were different perspectives. Our table topic session was amazing. The topics were all very good. And our evaluation by Toastmaster Latha was very insightful. So let's keep having meetings like this. As Toastmaster Latha said, let's keep up the energy, keep up our thunderous rounds of applause. With that, I would like to close meeting number 1367.